And later on we collaborated. I had a job in the fast food cafe in the student union, and I had to work one Saturday night, and he came round and he said, I want to set up something for a session tonight. I got a bunch of players, and we sat down and we were talking it through, and he sort of, I've got some steps and I'm going to put some pits on the steps, and he alternated them, one on the first side, one on the left, one on the right, one on the left. I said, why don't you do 3 on the right and then 1 on the left? So he looked at me, laughed a bit, and then said, yeah, okay then. When I got home from work, he said, you know that trick of splitting the traps up? I got one person with all of them. He went down the road, the left side of the pit of the staircase, and he fell in the first one. So he climbed out. He went down the left side on the second one. He fell down that. He went down the left side of the third one. Fell down that. And he's like, fine, okay, I'm going down the right-hand side. And he fell down the last one. And then everyone else went down the steps, didn't fall down anything. And he's like, you've got to be kidding me. But, we just had the same warped imagination. And I'm not very good at creating dungeons, but when it comes to his particular tricks and riddles and what have you, I just saw through them. And he said, you're the first person who's ever done that. Nobody else has. Hence why we were the first team to actually make it at least halfway through his dungeon. But at the very end, I think 6 of us survived. 4 of them because they'd figured out maybe we should follow the elf because he seems to know what he's talking about. And the last one, or the last 2, one of them ended up on the elemental plane of water due to a small mishap, and the other one ended up somewhere else. Basically had something that allowed him to travel great distances, so he ended up getting out, but he was practically dead when he got out. It was interesting, but you've got to find out what makes a person if you're teaching someone, you've got to figure out what makes them tick, and the more you understand different ways of doing that, the more successful you will be, actually successful you will be as a teacher, as opposed to on paper successful. I would not make a good teacher. I just don't have the temperament for it. I mean, for things I know how to do, I can explain it to people, but I get very short-tempered after a while. So I would not do well. I mean, I've got some funny stories of that. There was one where there was a melee going on, and sort of orcs versus the party type of affair, and everybody had killed their orc, and there was one guy that just kept threw a 2 and threw a 3, and, just kept missing. And so one of the members of the party was like, okay, what are you going to do? Okay, I'm going to step between. Come on, guys, step back a minute. Looking at the orc, he's sort of, you don't mind, do you? And the orc's like, what are you doing? And then he turned to his friend, he said, look, you're just not following through. Look. And he'd sort of, hand up to the orc, just hang on a minute. He said, look, what you want to do is you swing and then you upcut and follow through. And so he's like, how's it going? Yeah, do you understand? So the guy's like, yeah, okay, I've got it. So he said, okay, waved at the orc, okay, carry on. And the guy throws a 2. And he's like, oh. So he steps back, yeah, hang on, guys, hold up a minute. He said, look, you don't get it. You've got to do the follow through. So he's like, oh, okay. And these orcs they've been fighting for 10, 15 minutes. And, okay. So he's sort of, okay, back to it, guys. And they roll initiative, and, the orc takes his swipe. And then the player rolls a natural 20 and cleaves the orc in 2, and it's just that's how to do it. And it just adds to the roleplay. I mean, it's unlikely that an orc would stop fighting, especially not, if he stopped fighting and then realised, well, there's the entire party still standing and all your friends are dead, he'd probably run away. Or throw down his weapon and say, yeah, I'm done here. I don't think I'm going to win. But when it came to role-playing, my thing was usually science fiction. So I had a fairly long-term traveller campaign, which was Game Designers Workshop's answer to Dungeons and Dragons in sci-fi. Okay, flip the plough. How do I flip the plough? Oh, that worked. So yeah, sadly we can't do this with a worker, so I'm done going round. We're just going up and down now. Just as best I can. Still going round. But we also, what else did we I mean, our role-playing was fairly wide-ranging. Back in the days of pen and paper, we had we played a superheroes role-playing game. We played there was actually a James Bond role-playing game. That was kind of fun. And the games master we had for that, he'd trained to be an actor, and sadly he'd had a lighting rig fall on his back when he was at college, I think, and it basically crippled him. So as an actor, he was screwed. He could walk, but not well. But all of his acting talent certainly comes out as a games master, especially in something like James Bond. And he was kind of like James Doohan, if you know Scotty from Star Trek. James Doohan is a voice actor, and he does accents, and this guy was just amazing with accents. So you meet a Russian agent, and he has a Russian accent for that agent. Not only did he have a Russian accent from that agent, he had a different Russian accent for each agent, the Russian agent that you would meet. Same with Americans, same with British, and regional dialects. It wasn't a generic American dialect that he would come out with. He could do the Southern dialect. He could do a couple of New York dialects. And just brilliant. And when you're playing a game like that, it adds to the immersion when the games master's actually speaking as the person you're meeting. And if you're in the Russian consulate and you're meeting the Russian consul and a couple of his aides, and they're all using different accents, you can tell who he's speaking at by what it sounds like. And very few people can do that. Oh, that's not good. That's kind of painful. Yeah. Yeah, I was told of one party where one of the players was a paladin, and his particular religion required that basically you should, if someone died, you skinned the body so that the spirit could escape. And so, obviously, as per normal, you end up in a fight and there's dead bodies around. And so, being the paladin, he's sort of like, well, does anyone have any objections to, to me carrying out my religious beliefs on these bodies to allow their spirits to go to their heaven? And of course the party was like, no, not at all. And then he starts skinning the bodies and they're like, oh no, you must be evil. And so they killed him. So no, that was, that's my religion and it's perfectly explainable, but you didn't give me the chance. Okay, what else do I need to do on this field? Yes, we're not using the case because the plough didn't work. I wonder why the plough didn't work. It should have done. But at least this field does not need to be ploughed. That's kind of the advantage. Using a cultivator to create fields, it's probably easier because cultivators tend to be a little bit more easy to maneuver. I mean, this plough is really long, so it's not exactly easy to keep the plough where you want it. I think I think the field looks okay. I don't think I've made a lot of errors that I really wish, I wish I'd done that a bit different, or I'm going to need to get a roller and or paint tool and paint the edge of the field back in. But typically, obviously a cultivator, especially a reasonable sized cultivator, you can control exactly what you're digging up. But once you finish cultivating the field, it still needs to be ploughed, and creating a field with a plough does kind of bypass that need. Well, yeah. If a bugbear invites you over to dinner, you really have to make sure that you're not the thing that's for dinner. Yeah, come over for the dinner. Yeah, no, maybe not. Anyway, we're almost done with this, so that's good. I'm not sure I'll be able to tell where the slurry's been. But we'll go and grab some slurry. We'll do a small portion of the edge of the field, and then we'll go and get the soil sampler and just sample this field. And then we'll compare, the nitrogen levels of where I've done slurry versus where I haven't, just to see. It's something that's been bugging me about what is it, precision farming. But oh, to heck with it, we'll fill in that gap in a minute. You know, does precision farming work even if you don't analyze the soil? So could you generally get a better yield just by estimating what your pH is and nitrogen? So obviously on this farm we're using modern equipment. Everything is theoretically computer adjusted. So yeah, I generally use another word, I forget what. But you know, you're determining how much fertilizer you want on each portion of the field, and then the computer and the GPS are tying into those to meter how much is applied on each part of the field. But if you're using old, small equipment, not necessarily small, but old equipment, to fertilize your field, plant your field and stuff like that, you're not going to have the controls in your equipment to be able to meter it. But could I play with precision farming and do manual application of fertilizer and all the rest of it? And it's something I kind of like to try out, and we've got the opportunity to do it here. Whoops. Rotate the plow. Even if it's just a case of, okay, well, we'll put a little bit of digestate on the field, we'll analyze the field, and then we'll compare the digestate map to see, or the nitrogen map to see if the digestate applied or not. Because normally if we now just analyze this field, the pH would be at minimum, the nitrogen would be at 0. Actually it wouldn't, because we just interesting, because this wasn't a field. So there's going to be all sorts of interesting information that comes out when we analyze this. Because the fields I've done so far were fields, actual fields. So, the clover fields had grass in them, and I ploughed the grass, and then I replanted as clover, and it pushed up. Ploughing the field pushed up the nitrogen levels in the field, and then I spread manure on the fields, which push up the nitrogen levels in the fields. And when I put the clover in, I had too much nitrogen in the field for ideal harvest of the clover, and we still have too much nitrogen in those fields because cutting the clover didn't eliminate enough nitrogen during that harvest. I don't know. What I'm saying is I'm pretty certain that automatic application doesn't work because it doesn't know. But I'm wondering if manual application makes a difference. So we're just going to do a little trial on that. I'm also, as I said, I'm not sure if ploughing this field is going to make a difference, because this isn't a field. So I don't know if it's counting the fact that I've just ploughed in a ton of grass here, even though the grass was poor quality. I'm fairly certain I'm not going to get credit for grass was cut, therefore you get one layer of fertilizer or a boost in nitrogen. I don't know if that you get a boost in nitrogen when you cut grass either. I suppose. Well, that we can try out because I can look at the nitrogen map for field 9 and see what it looks like. Okay, I thought I saw. Yes, I did. It's a little patch of grass right there. Boop, gone. Okay, brakes on, handbrake is engaged. So if we go to, yeah, that field there, that is very low nitrogen. Whoa, what is that? 60 kilos per hectare. That one's probably similar. Yeah, we didn't cut that bit. So that's what it was, 200, and it's now 60. That's 60 because we planted it with oilseed radish. This is boosted, but we'll still need to put fertilizer on it when we... No, will we? Planning to put... That's oilseed radish. So I'm planning to put sunflowers in there. I'm planning to put canola in there a little bit later because it's not ready to plant. So we're going to have to slurry those two fields anyway. So 60, and we want about 2. So we're going to do a natural coverage of silage those. Okay. Let's blah blah blah, limit to fields. And is that lifted? Yes. Okay, I need to flip the plough in order to fold it. Anyway, we shall be discovering some precision farming things, which I think it will be good to know for farm. Oh, let's try that one again. It will be good to know for Farm Sim 22. Okay, that was the right button to press. So we can run the plough back down. I'm going to go the long way round just because it's easier to manoeuvre. We'll put the case away later, but grab the slurry tank because, yeah, a couple of weeks ago I had some problems with the slurry tank, and you will notice we're back to our original slurry tank. So we will demonstrate what I was doing wrong, and it was me. And gonna need the pipe off the tanker. Also, the nice thing about this plough is you can put it away in travel mode. That other little plough, not so much. Come on, turn again, turn more, turn more. Thank you. Now turn the tractor. And that's under the shed. That's good enough. Let's take our salary and go home. Okay, take care. So yeah, slurry. Here's what we were doing wrong. Where's the pipe hole? On that side. Okay. We hitch that to there. And then we run over here and get the pipe. And that's the pipe. This is all sorts of trouble to get this off. Very bouncy. Okay, but once we've got a little bit clear, we can carry the pipe somewhere. So we wander over here and we attach that to there. Oh, the church museum. Okay, pick that up and so we attach that to that. That works. Move the pipe that way a bit. We get in the tractor, we need the tanker closer because the pipe has limited length. Now I did change that pipe to an extended pipe, so the one on the other side, which way do we want to steer? The other one on that tanker is a pipe extension, so it would let me get greater distance from the field refill thing. Let's do that. That might work. So we jump out, we run round, we grab that, and okay, we reverse a bit more. That might be a little bit better. Okay, so we do that, we right click that and it attaches it. And that's what I thought. And now I get in the tractor and I pump. No, no, no. What I have to do is there we go. Open manure flow. I have to press the right button. Boop. I don't think I have to do it on here. There doesn't seem to be anything there. So now jump over the pipe and jump into the tractor. We activate the pump on the slurry tanker. And look, it fills up. Yay! So, yeah, fixed it. There's that stupid little handle there that you have to mess with. But I don't have to mess with it on the field refill tank, just on this thing. Ah well. So we let that fill up. And this has a full load for this tanker plus the semi. So I can either come back. What I probably end up doing is I've got a. There's probably enough digestate here to do all of our grass fields. There we go. So